Hi guys, it's Kara. Welcome back to Bear's Reading Nook. So today, a little late, but we're gonna be talking about my July TBR. Now, I did a TBR, like, spin the wheel type thing before figuring out about all the various readathons going on, so the 1 month-long readathon that I'm doing, as well as potentially another readathon that I'm doing, will have those books in there to the best of my ability. But let's start with the TBR that I, spun the wheel for. So I have 9 prompts. The first being a 2020 release, which I have Dandelion by Jack Kinsley, which I have on ebook, and it's a psychological thriller following a 7-year-old who is in a foster family, and the foster father is not a fan of her, and she apparently finds some sort of secret out in the corn, and what comes out of that is kind of what the story's about. The next book is new author, which is Abby Dare and the Girl with the Louding Voice, which sounds really interesting. It follows a 14-year-old from a poorer family who is sold as a third wife to an older man, and then later sold in secret as a servant to a richer family, and her finding her voice in amongst all of that. Next is mystery or thriller, and this is a book that I've been really interested in, which is A Study in Scarlet by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, which is, I believe, where Sherlock and Watson meet. I've been wanting to read the Sherlock books for a while, and I'm excited to start with this one. Next we have Mood Read, which is the Tea Dragon Society, which, as of recording this, I've already read, and it's fantastic. The art style is really awesome, and I believe there's, if not outright rep, there's at least implied LGBTQ rep in here, which is awesome. Underhyped. So for underhyped for me, this one would be considered like super underhyped because I basically stuck with parameters of out for 2 or more years and under 2,000 reviews. And that would be A Dragon, Some Whiskey, and People, which is a short story collection by Sean Jolly, which has various genres, including fantasy, horror, western, and suspense, which sounds really awesome, and I'm excited to see what these stories are about, because let's be real, it sounds awesome. Next is highest rated, which this isn't the actual highest rated. There was a bunch of things that happened, which include the library having the actual one I was going to do for highest rated stuck in the waiting process to get to me for like a month plus. So we're doing The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune, which sounds really awesome, and it follows a guy who's a caseworker for magical youth who is tasked with going to an orphanage to see whether these kids are actually dangerous or not. Next we have a retelling, which is Heartless by Marissa Meyer. This basically follows the backstory of the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland, and it sounds really interesting, honestly, so we'll see how this goes. Next, shortest book. So I didn't realize when I got this that this book was a picture book. And so yeah, it's really short. So this one is clear. There we go. The Gift of the Magi, which this story is about a married couple who is really poor, but they want to show each other that they love their significant other, and so they try to find like the best gift for them and kind of like what that entails. It's a really short book, and I know about it because of Adventures in the Odyssey, so yeah. Okay, most anticipated. So I don't actually know a lot of like newer books that are out. So my most anticipated is actually technically backlisted, but it sounds really amazing, and it is Nightlights, which this just looks really cute, like the art style of this, oh my gosh. But it follows a girl named Sandy who lights appear in her room, and she catches them and creates wonderful creatures from them, and then basically brings them to life in the morning through her drawings. And then a kid at school is fascinated by them, but it may not be for good reason. And I'm just really excited to, you know, find out more about this book, and legit art style, guys. It's so good. So good. Okay, so the readathon that I'm participating in is the Totally Spies-a-thon, which, oh my gosh, I love the Totally Spies show, so when I saw this, I had to do it. And I'm on Team Sam, so this is fantastic. So the way that this works is you roll a die and you go around like the little like board that they have, and whatever number you land on that board is the prompt that you'll get. So for the first prompt, I got whatever like team color on the cover. So since I'm Sam, it's green, and I read the Tea Dragon Society, which was awesome. For the second prompt, it was basically a free choice of any prompt on like the first round of prompts, and for that one I chose Pride and Prejudice, which, oh my gosh, the reason I chose this one was for sassy main character. This book is so fantastic. I've watched the movie so many times, and I'm excited to read it because so far I'm not too far into it. It's on point. It's so good. For the next prompt, I got basically a free book, so I'm doing one off of my Wheel of TBR like prompts, and that is a dragon, some whiskey, and people, which is the short story collection, and I'm really excited to read that. Next is Team Choice. I may put up another poll because there were two options and they were tied, which was the Nightlights book and the Study in Scarlet. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do about that yet, but we shall see. Next was a young adult contemporary, and this is one that I had that I've tried to read multiple times. I don't have high hopes for it because I've never actually finished it, as you can see by my bookmark. This is 13 Reasons Why, and I have a feeling it'll be very problematic, but I'll try to go into it open-minded, but I don't have high hopes for this one. Next was author of color in any genre, and for this one I chose The Deep. It sounds like a really interesting premise that I've heard a lot of people talk about, and I mean mermaids, and basically the gist that I've heard of it is one person gets all the memories, and the person that currently has the memories doesn't want that job anymore. So we'll see what that ends up meaning. Next is Own Voice's character, and for this one I chose The Girl with the Louding Voice because the author is actually from Nigeria, and that is where the story takes place, and I'm really excited to read this book. The last prompt is a bubbly main character, and I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to be reading for that one. If you guys have any suggestions on that one, that would be fantastic. The other readathon that I'm doing is Becca's Bookopoly-thon, which is the 48-hour one where she's doing the prompts during the readathon. So the first prompt was, I believe, paranormal or magical realism or chance. And for that one, I am doing Nightlights, which is magical realism, and I'm so excited to be reading this. Yeah, so that's all I'm planning to read. Hopefully I get to all of it. If not, that's totally fine. But yeah, I will see you guys next time in the Bear's Nook.